Hey, what's going on?
What's up, good peoples? Welcome
What's
to another
happening?
Relationship Thursday.
That's not gonna work. What's going on with this?
Yeah, the quality is kind of sucking on Instagram right now,
Oh my gosh!
but it's all good.
Really?
We can give y'all a second to come on in here for another Relationship Thursday. I don't understand what's going on over here on Instagram. We will probably get it right next time because we're not gonna fiddle with it right now. But next time it'll be a little bit clearer. But hey, y'all, what's up, fam? Again, welcome to another Relationship Thursday. This right here is my queen, my divine compliment, my everything, my soulmate, Iana Ma'at, my wife, Iana Ma'at.
And this right here, this is my debonair, awesome, amazing, fine protector, confidant, my shelter in a storm, my blankie,
Your blankie?
my best friend, my boo, my buddy, my bae.
I'm all of that.
My husband.
All of that and then some.
Ayize Ma'at. If you are just coming into the room, we want you to say where you're coming from. We see you, Tamika, and I see you, Manifest Ra, 529, our sis, who we can always depend on. Oh, what's going on, Kamar? We see you. And
What's up, Kamar?
and we see you on Instagram, and we know we look a little funny. We're just trying to figure this thing out, so be patient with us. And on YouTube.
Hey, YouTube, let us know where y'all are tuning in from.
Let us know where you're tuning in from.
Drop us a comment. Let us know where y'all are coming from.
So again, my name is Iana Ma'at. This is Ayize Ma'at. Tonight we have a really good topic for you. We are talking about some relationship issues that need more than prayer. Oh yeah. They need more than your good intentions. They need more than your philosophizing. They need some concrete interventions, or you will find yourself in a place that you didn't know you were going to. And we're not talking from just our opinion. We're not talking from just kind of like what we think. We're talking about what we know, not only because we are trained, not only because this is what we do, but also because we've been through some things ourselves.
Absolutely.
So this is my high school sweetheart. For those who are just joining us for the first time, and I'm his high school sweetheart.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I am.
You are, baby.
We have 5 wonderful children. We've been doing this work for a very long time, and we counsel folks, we coach couples, and we really help people to get to a place of being able to see themselves and some of the stuff that you do individually to contribute to the dysfunction in your relationship.
Yes.
People sometimes get a little irritated with us because we like, but you, what's going on with
indeed.
you? Because until you focus on yourself and what you have going on and stop trying to focus on what your partner needs to do for you, you will not get to the place that you need to be. You have to focus on how you need to grow and focus on how you can serve your partner. When I started to focus on how I could serve you better.
How you can serve. I like the way that sounds.
I know you like it.
How you can serve me.
Yeah, I know you like that. What's that song? Let me cater to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that one.
I do.
He love that song. He be like, play that song, babe.
Don't just play it, but do it.
When I start focusing on that, some things started to change. And, real talk, I've seen that in hundreds of couples that we've worked with and workshops and counseling and coaching and so forth, because there is an energy that happens when you start to focus on how you can show up differently, how you can do things differently, that then transfers to your partner, and they don't keep looking at you. They said, well, wait a minute, what I need to do?
Exactly.
What I need to do, let me figure some things out so that I can be of service to my partner. You may not say it like that, but when you have that type of perspective, it changes things.
It really does. It really does. And so tonight, y'all, we're going to be talking about 5 relationship issues that require or that need more than just prayer. Again, 5 relationship issues that need more than just prayer. Now, let me go ahead and put this out here and say that when we say more than just prayer, we're not saying that prayer isn't needed.
Because it's needed.
Yes, it is. It definitely is needed. Prayer, meditation, some focus, time, and attention to go internally to see whether or not or what issues are present and what you can do, what higher power you can access to overcome those issues. So you definitely need to take time with self, take time with the higher power, and really utilize that external source and that internal source to overcome whatever issues you may have. But what I'm saying is that there's some issues and some things that might be happening in your relationship where prayer in and of itself ain't gonna cut it. But they say faith without works is dead.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, faith
And-
without
and-
works is dead. And so again, the prayer
Jeez.
piece is critical, but at the same time, it's important that you understand that you got to back that thing up by doing some things.
Yeah. So a lot of and this may not be you, this may be your cousin. This ain't you, because y'all do better, right? The folks who are on this live stream do a little differently, maybe. But a lot of folks out there, that there need to be some changes in your relationship. You're not satisfied. There's some insecurities. There's some things that are flowing in you and around you and in your relationship where you're not connecting. You're not having sex. You don't communicate. There's not this sense of trust there. The intimacy is gone. You're good partners with the kids, but maybe you're not really, you're not really connecting individually. What happened? What went wrong?
Mhm.
And oftentimes what we do is we look out externally to what somebody else is doing or isn't doing, and we don't pay attention to what it is that we need to do differently. We also oftentimes do what you're doing right now. What does that mean? We get on a live stream, we see somebody who specializes in the area, and we listen to some things. Live from New York, we see you. And I see Leander from Las Vegas. Go to YouTube and Google a sermon from TD Jakes talking about relationships.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, we need to, yes, this is
Feel real good.
feel good. You get some
Feel real
inspiration.
motivated.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Right. You go online, maybe you might see Jada and Will, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're like, they just seem like they're really able to be honest with each other.
Or not.
You be hating.
I said, or not.
You be hating. They're like up and down, right? You come see them at IT, like, wow, they just keep on 100. How do they have that level of connection? The point I'm making, or maybe it's at church, maybe there's a marriage ministry, or maybe in the community, you get with friends and y'all actually come together with other couples. I don't know what it is, but the point I'm making is that doing this surfing, you're surfing. You know how you go on the internet and you surf?
Mhm.
We just go on, we just surf. We just kind of surf. Right now, you might have surfed and found us, and you should have. So just stay here with us. But if you surf on the internet, you are not really getting rooted in what you're looking at. You're not really focusing in. You're just kind of allowing yourself to be distracted by the many different things that look good and sound good. And like, oh, that's good. Let me send so-and-so this link. And let me send so-and-so this. And I'm going to send this to myself so I can go back to it later. What we're telling you is that there are certain relationship issues that will not be addressed, will not be overcome through surfing.
Mhm.
You have to actually really focus in and dig deep, and you've got to get some additional kind of help.
Mhm.
You got to do some things differently. And we want to talk about a few of those kinds of issues tonight. So if, again, you're just joining us tonight, we're talking about 5 relationship issues that need more than just prayer, need more than just your surfing and your philosophizing and talking about it and then forgetting about it until the next time you get irritated. You need to get focused and you need to get concentrated and work on this thing in a very intentional way. And that's how you'll be able to overcome. If you are also listening, I want you to share the video. Share. Please share the video with others.
Yeah. And please share, because if you have an understanding that relationship issues require more than just prayer, I'm sure that other people probably do as well. And then some people might think that all that's needed is prayer. And so if you think that it's really important that people extend themselves beyond just the comfort zone or just their familiarity of getting on their knees or doing whatever it is to connect with their high creator to solve every single issue in their life, and that action is actually required in order for you to overcome some things, then again, please share this video, because we're going to be talking about some things that may benefit somebody who ain't on this live stream right now.
Yeah.
So we want you to share it. Please share it. Now, let me ask you this question. If you think that prayer is all that's needed, say I.
Let me find out you went to
Say
the Tony Robbins
Yes,
joint. You know about Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins will bang the I
Right.
really quickly. If you think that prayer is all that's needed,
Wait a
say
minute, let me just
I.
ask Instagram, are we sideways? I'm just want to know. Somebody let me know. Are we sideways? All right, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you think that prayer is all that's needed, thank you, Tamika. If you think that prayer is all that's needed, say I. I ain't getting no I.
So I'm smiling. Hey, Leander, thank you. So look, because we want you to understand, and while you all are saying I, ain't nobody saying I. Yeah, no, maybe some people don't, y'all know it's not really.
You might not be saying it, but you might feel it.
You might feel it because for let me just talk about this for a second. For Black
somebody
people,
on Instagram saying yes.
For Black people, and this is my perspective, you might have a different perspective for Black people, for African Americans specifically and particularly, whether you are a church-bound person or not, whether you go to the mosque or you go to a spiritual place or you go to a place where meditation happens, Black folks naturally are spiritual people.
Mm-hmm.
We're spiritual people. It runs in our DNA. Our ancestors, have really blessed us with the faith that they had to get through what they had to go through to be here today. So whether it was jumping a broom and saying we don't need anybody to say that we're married, we are, because we have this union and we jumped the broom, whether it was, coming over and getting through some of the hardships that we had to get through as a people, spirituality, like straight up is a major foundation for Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not everybody, but I'm telling you that if you are an African American, if you are a person of African descent, it is in your history. It is in your historical DNA. You might not call it that, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you don't need to get some tools and do some things and find some people and get a community and learn more about yourself. Do some things that are outside of your spiritual understanding. We gotta get clear about that. And I just say that because we do all this type of stuff. Bruce said it. Bruce said we all need prayer, information, and tools. We do all kind of things to support our entrepreneurial desires, right? Now, how you gonna switch the thing? How you
I'm just saying, they said on Instagram, they said we were sideways.
Oh, they did. But it's up.
But your
phone sucks. Okay, it just sucks. But anyway, it got clearer.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I don't forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, boo?
You were saying that I'm handsome.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. You are though. You are.
So Bruce is saying more than just prayer.
You just have to understand that to say that I need to get additional help, and I understand African Americans specifically, we have sometimes issues with kind of getting coaching, getting counseling, going to other people, talking about our issues. What you gonna tell me? You ain't even married. How do you know? Right? I know we got stuff, and rightfully so, because historically in this country, people have not always been for us. They label us, they label our children, they give you a diagnosis, all this different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I understand that, and we know that, but we really want to set the stage tonight to help you understand that you have to do more than just kind of give it to God by itself. You have to have some strategies that give you evidence. I always say in the folks that I'm coaching, where's your evidence, bruh? Sis, where's your evidence that you're actually changing, that you're shifting, that you're doing something different? There has to be evidence of your evolution.
Yes.
And that's not just in prayer. So I want to get started tonight. Again, please share this video. We're talking about 5 relationship issues that require more than just prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one I want to talk about is this. Sometimes you need some assistance in your relationship managing other relationships.
Mm-hmm. What you mean?
Oh, yep. What does that mean? Like I felt that one for a second, because some of y'all don't understand that just because you had a friend of the opposite sex who was your friend forever and a day, from elementary school to middle school to high school and so on, right? It does not mean that, you know what, my husband, my wife, they need to understand that this is who I am. This is who I've had. You need to understand that there's a way that you're supposed to manage that relationship. Some of y'all have inappropriate relationships.
Absolutely.
Right? The inappropriate relationships, and perhaps they're not even inappropriate. Perhaps they are completely appropriate, but it makes your partner uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an issue and that's a problem. I'm just saying, maybe you need some assistance managing your mama. And maybe you need some assistance managing your cousin and your sister, all the people who you have gone to all of your life to talk about the things that really are difficult for you. But now that you have your husband, your wife, you can't go to them and talk the same way because they only see you and they only see your situation through a certain lens.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not the ones anymore. And guess what? By the way, they haven't even got no healthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even really give you no good advice, because what they doing? And just because they are married or in a long-term relationship doesn't mean it's healthy, right? So a lot of times there are interfering factors in our relationships.
Absolutely.
That really equates to people, your mom and them, your old buddy from high school who
Mhm.
you like, y'all still cool with. He want to call you sometimes, sis. He want to tell you about like some of the difficulties he's having.
Mhm.
Cause he hollering at this shorty and she's like, so, she seemed like everything. And he just wants to talk to you
Mhm.
because he la, 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 but y'all are connecting. You're
And you fall for
connecting
the okie doke.
and you want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any bad intention. Why is your boo having a problem with that when I've had a connection with this person long before I met you, sweetheart, and I love you to death, but I've known him longer than I've known you.
Mhm.
I wish you would tell me that.
Mhm.
I wish you would. Inappropriate. That's inappropriate.
It absolutely
You understand it?
is.
So you need some assistance, oftentimes managing other relationships. And it doesn't just come down to exes and longtime friends and family. Sometimes it's coworkers, sometimes it's bosses, your job, knowing how to prioritize your family because you keep staying. You're like, I'm making this money, I gotta stay. You might need to put a boundary down.
Exactly.
And sometimes people don't know how to do that.
So that's the really important piece right there, the whole B word, boundaries.
Mhm.
Boundaries are so significant. And so when it comes to the whole prayer piece, a lot of times it's like, God, give me the strength. Give me the strength to resist the temptation. Give me the strength to know, and the insight, the foresight to know which way I need to go, how I need to navigate a particular situation. But the thing that you're not looking at is your inability, your habitual inability to establish healthy boundaries in the relationships that you have. And so you keep on bumping into yourself, you keep on bumping into problems in your marriage, in your relationship, because you have not really developed and established an appropriate sense of what it means to have healthy boundaries. And so when it comes to you and your relationship with your spouse, again, you need to honor that first. And so prayer, yes, you can pray all day long for the strength, but until you understand why you're weak, the reality is that you'll continue to find yourself in a predicament or a situation where you'll be dealing with real fuzzy boundaries. And so again, prayer, yes, you can get the strength from that, but are you doing the assessing? Do you have the insight that's necessary to assist you in establishing strong and sturdy boundaries? Do you?
And so the bottom line is this, you've heard this before, when you're in it, you can't see it.
No.
When you're in it, you cannot see it. And this is one of those issues that you oftentimes do need some outside support in, and you need someone who's objective to be able to weigh in and give you some support. If this kind of issue, managing other relationships, family, coworkers, old flames, perhaps it's just a good long-term friend. It's been nothing but platonic, but it's a problem for your relationship because of the level of connection that's there, right? Nothing been shady with it. It's just inappropriate. That's difficult. That's hard. How do you disconnect with that? How do you then, move forward? You need someone to help you through that. You need something else, because those things are not oftentimes, they're not navigated easily. We talk about the fact that early on in our relationship, you had to cut some ties.
So I'm gonna go to point number two. Point number two.
Go to point number two.
Yeah. So point number two, the second relationship issue that that needs more than just prayer is if you're dealing with infidelity or unfaithfulness. Yes, infidelity or unfaithfulness. So the missus and I, she was just starting to allude to the fact that
actually wasn't, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, you want?
Yeah, but this is good. Keep going.
So early on in our relationship. So again, we've been together now for 24 years, married for 17. And so prior to getting married, we'd had some stuff on her part as well as on my part. And then after marriage, there was an emotional situation. And so we had to deal with that. But what's required in order to get through the infidelity and the unfaithfulness is not just prayer, y'all. And so again, prayer will assist you in the process of understanding what's required to forgive. It assists you in the process of giving you the strength to go another day. But what's really important is, again, what I get back to is what I said a second ago. How did you get into the daggone situation that you found yourself in? How did you get there? How did you arrive there? Are there some codependent attributes that led you to overlook and bypass certain qualities that if you would have seen it or paid attention to it, then you wouldn't have found yourself in that situation? Are there some addictions in your personality that may have led you to engage in certain behaviors that are maladaptive and are impacting a relationship negatively? What actually is leading you to the space that you're in? And again, prayer may give you the answer to keep on going or keep on pushing, but what you need is the insight. You need the insight and the understanding as to why in the hell you keep on doing what you're doing. And why do you allow what's happening to occur?
That's good. That's good. If you're just joining us tonight, we're talking about 5 issues that require more than prayer. You need to do something different. You need to get some outside help. You need to put in some specific interventions and strategies. You can't just keep getting up, going to work every day and keep dealing with the same thing and talk about it here and there and talk to your girlfriend and talk to your pastor and
talk to your family members
and do the same. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Mhm.
And these situations unchecked will hurt you and your relationship. So the first thing we talked about was managing other relationships and knowing how to set boundaries. My husband just also talked about infidelity. And the next thing that we want to talk about is blended families. Blended families.
If you have not shared, please share this video.
So if you're in a blended family, first of all, a blended family is 2 persons coming together. You may already have children from a prior relationship. And this is one of the things that really catches people by surprise, because when you're coming together as a blended family, there are particular kinds of challenges that couple and that family are going to have off the cuff, like straight up. You might be like, oh, he's so good with so-and-so and with my child or my daughter or my husband. I mean, not my husband, my daughter or my son, right? And she's so good with my child. But as soon as you get married, people start to say, I don't know about this. Children start to test the waters. And there start to be some difficulties that will come up, which is natural and it is normal, but you do need to be very prepared for that. And oftentimes you need some outside help. One of the things that blended families often struggle with is, what's the role of the other parent? What's the role of you? If you're the biological parent, what's the role of the other parent? What is this new identity that you all are forming as this new family? Does your child call him daddy? Does he call her mommy? Like, what does that look like? Are you calling him Steve and you calling, this person over here Mary? Like, what does that look like? And oftentimes people don't even talk about that stuff.
No.
The children don't know what to think because y'all ain't had no conversation about it. And so blended families really have to pay attention to the particular difficulties and struggles that come with parenting children that are not your own. And not to mention that you have a certain way that you get down, that you were already getting down with your child or your children. You have certain kinds of parenting inclinations, certain differences from your partner, right? And so you all have to blend all that together. That can really, really, really be a sneaky disruptor to a beautiful union. Because when the kids are involved, y'all know. Hold up. Wait a minute. What you say to my son? Hold up. Wait a minute. I don't feel like you give that same energy to your son, right? There are all kinds of issues that come in. And so you have to really just know that's a part of the territory. And when you're very proactive about that and you get some outside help, and you're not just managing that on your own, because we are emotional creatures. And I do feel as though when it's, children who are coming one from one partner and one from the other, there's a natural kind of defensiveness for your own child, right? And the other partner has the same. And so you got to pay attention to that. It's sneaky, Marnell, and some sneaky disruptors, man.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself looking at your partner sideways, all because you did not realize that this is a relationship issue that needs more than prayer. It needs more than your good intention. It needs more than your connection with your partner. It needs strategy. It needs a plan and communication. So if you find yourself in that situation right now, take this as a cue and figure out, what are we going to do so that we can put ourselves on the right track and we're not going down the wrong road and find yourselves messed up. And we done seen plenty of families messed up because they have not really taken seriously what it means to be a blended family and been very strategic about that.
And the reality is that they're just trying to keep the peace. Instead of just discussing it, having honest and transparent conversation, what I would prefer to do is just keep my mouth shut and keep the peace. Any of y'all out there big fans of just keeping the peace? Keep it real. Keep it real. Even in our relationship at certain points in time, I'm a fan of keeping the peace. Like, I won't say sometimes what I need to say because I want to keep the peace. And I know you probably don't say what you want to say sometimes because you're trying to keep the peace.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, so we all go in and out of it. But if that's the predominant way in which you're engaging in your relationship, then that's when it's problematic. You should place transparency as a priority in your relationship and honesty and vulnerability. And if you're not doing that, then the reality is that you're living a fake relationship.
You're living a fake relationship. That
Mhm.
ain't good. That ain't
No,
good.
it's not. It's
You
not.
want to have some progress. You want to be making some moves. It's not about perfection, y'all. It's about progress. Progress over perfection.
Yes.
That's what we really want to happen. So next on the list, this is number 4.
Number 4, y'all. Number 4. If you
4.
have not shared, please go ahead and share.
Mhm.
And so number 4, another relationship issue that needs more than just prayer,
More than prayer.
is trust issues.
My.
Trust issues.
Mhm.
Anybody out there struggling with trust issues?
Had your trust broken in the relationship you're in right now?
I have to raise my hand.
Me too.
Yeah.
Had your trust broken in relationships prior to the one that you're in, and you dealing with that stuff, and you ain't even gotten over the stuff from before. It might not even be the relationships from back in the day. It might be, you might not even realize, might be your mommy or your daddy. You just got trust issues. And them trust issues, they will hit your relationship upside the head.
And it may not even be in those formative relationships, those primary relationships. It could be vicarious trauma that you may have experienced as a result of something that you saw, something that you heard, something that you really internalized and thought that it might be a possibility for your life, for your reality, and you start to distrust your existence or the reality around you.
Can you define vicarious trauma?
Yeah, so it's trauma that you don't experience directly. So it's almost like it's secondhand trauma or secondary trauma where somebody else, or you've seen it or you've heard about it, and it impacts you in such a way where you're to some degree devastated, and you're almost as if your life is pressed on pause.
You put your defenses up.
Exactly. You put your defenses up, and you almost get stuck. You get stuck there, and so you engage the world differently as a result of what you saw and what you heard. And so again, you may not have necessarily experienced it directly, but you could have heard it secondhand, and consequently, because you internalized that story to such a degree, as a result, you're unwilling to trust like you may have trusted before. And so, anybody familiar with that? Anybody have any experiences with the fact that
I know y'all know,
hearing about, especially as a Black man in America, all of this stuff that's out here on the news, we see traumatic stuff on a regular basis. And so people can be suffering secondhand trauma just by simply watching the news and relating it to a cousin, a nephew, a parent, a child, a sibling that may have experienced something similar. And so you get re-traumatized all over again. And so you develop this propensity to not trust based off of your lack of trust on what's going on around you. And so you bring that into your relationship. And as a result, you end up not being vulnerable. You end up not being transparent, which ends up impacting the quality of the relationship that you have with your spouse.
So there are certain people, based on our experiences, some of what my husband talked about with past partners, based on oftentimes our upbringing, what our parents gave us or did not give us, that have this chronic distrust, not just of their partner, but of themselves and of the world. And when I say of themselves, I mean, we oftentimes project onto our partners and say, I don't know, I don't really understand, and I'm not sure if I can really trust it, blah, 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 right? Or some of the words or some of the things that we are saying communicate that we don't really trust that they'll handle things the right way, that they're really there for us. But a lot of times it's also that we internally don't know that we can trust ourselves, to deal with whatever comes our way. So we're oftentimes, defending against what we think might be about to happen, or what could come out out of the depths of the shadows and get us, right? We're defending against that.
And everybody has that,
because of ourselves, because we don't trust ourselves, and then we don't trust the world. Now, this is some deep stuff right here. I mean, this is stuff that we don't even really have enough time to really get into tonight in terms of this ability to trust. Black people in general, I always say Black people, we have a certain baseline of distrust, because when we go into certain environments and when we are out here in the world, we always, whether you are conscious of it or not, are kind of paying attention to who's looking at us, how are they perceiving us, how are they receiving us, what labels are they putting on us, on my husband, on my children? Are they friendly? Are they not? Are they with me? Are they against me? How do they see us when they see us? Right. So at the end of the day, we all have this trust stuff, but there are certain certain people who have a deeper level of distrust. And when that chronic distrust is there, your partner has to carry a heavy burden. Triggers, Tiffany, there you go. Triggers. That's it. Triggers that kind of, make us say, wait a minute, I don't know if this is safe. I don't know, like, hold up. Some of us, we like, I don't know if this is safe. Is it okay? And some of us are like, pulling out my, guns ablazing. Who coming for me? Because I'm coming for you. Right. But we do that in our relationships. And then your partner saying, wait a minute, what's going on? Powerful, yeah. What's going on? What's happening? Like, it's me. Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
It's really powerful and it's easy to, and I like what Fine 29 said. She said, I don't trust the world, and rightfully so. It hasn't disappointed. And so I agree wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. The thing that I want us to do, though, the reason why I say that it's so deep is because every single body on this live stream, the two of us included, you don't trust yourself in some particular area.
Yeah.
There's some area, and if you want to take out a piece of paper right now and write it down, there's some area in your life where you don't trust yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you really sit and really think and internalize that fact that there's some gap in my life where I've left myself coming up short.
Yeah. Oof.
Where I haven't filled a particular void, where I've let myself down, where I haven't been on point. If we all were to be honest about those areas, then that's the opportunity for growth. Mm-hmm. There's healing and revealing. And so while we may deflect and while we may project and while we may defend ourselves against the outside world, in what areas of your life don't you trust yourself?
And if you don't trust yourself, guess what? You ain't trusting your boo. And you think it's because of something they doing or not doing, when really you don't have the capacity to give them that trust because you haven't gained it for yourself. You haven't gained it for yourself. So when you have those kinds of dynamics happening in a relationship, you can't pray that away. There's no amount of prayer that can totally make those kinds of issues dissipate. You got to do some deeper work to understand where you are and where you are not. And you got to figure out, how do I get to a place where I can build up the level of safety within myself and trust within myself so that in my relationship, I also show up with that same level of trust. Yeah. Particularly when it's earned. So if you're just joining us, we are kind of getting towards the end now. We have one more thing to share with you. Tonight, we're talking about 5 relationship issues that require more than prayer. It cannot just be prayer. It cannot just be your good intentions. You can't just be like, read a book every now and then, forget about it. You got to focus on that thing, or you will find yourself with the okie doke. You're like, dang, what happened? We used to be so good. I don't understand, like, what went wrong. What went wrong is that you took this thing and you did not take it seriously. You didn't really apply the level of concentration you needed to apply to it. And so we want you to understand that if any of these issues that we talked about tonight, whether you're watching live or on the replay, resonate with you or hit you in some way, take it as a cue to say, how am I going to get on top of this thing? Yeah. You ain't by yourself. We all got the stuff. Absolutely. Everybody does. But it's what you do to address it that will elevate your relationship to a successful relationship, or put you in that category of, dang, what could have been? Dang, we just didn't work out. And I know that sounds rough, but I ain't in the business of lying, so we're just going to tell you the truth. So the fifth issue that we want to share with you tonight, which is really important, really, 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 really important. And I will say this, and I'll just be real, it's often very underestimated. Very, very underestimated, and kind of like, oh, yeah. Some of y'all gonna do that when I say it. Sexual issues. You have to understand, particularly if you are in a committed married relationship and you are devoted to one another, you have given your vows to one another. You have to understand that sex is a requirement in a relationship. It's a requirement. It's not an option. It's not something that you can just say, like, if I feel it, I'll do it. It's a requirement. Why is it required for us to communicate? Why is it required that I be faithful to him and he be faithful to me? Why is it required that we plan together and that we consider one another? Why is all that required, but yet sex ain't required? Come on now, y'all.
Mhm.
It is a requirement in a healthy relationship. But sex is something that can bring couples together. It could be a very spiritually enlightening experience. It
Mhm.
can be something that is healing, or it can be a battleground. And you don't want it to be a battleground. You don't want it to be a place where you are showing up and you don't feel good about your stomach. So you don't never turn the light on because you don't want him to see you because you ain't ready to
Yeah.
see yourself.
Mhm.
See, everything goes back to you and your own work. If you can see yourself, let me tell you, I'm just going to keep it 100. And I know some of y'all might be like, Dag, Yana, my stomach. And I'm just going to ask my husband
Really,
to
bro?
confirm this. I'm going to ask you to confirm it. I'm dead serious.
You're going to keep this thing real. Huh?
I want you to understand where I'm coming from. My stomach looks like a prune. It's very wrinkled. I have 5 babies. And people say, you know, you look good. You have 5 children. You look good. You're so small. But you know what? I wear those underwear that come all the way up to my boobies, right up under my boobs, that suck in that stomach. You know what I'm talking about? I do. And you know, eventually maybe I'll get to the place where I won't wear them underwear, but I still wear it, because if I didn't wear it today, especially because my frame is so small, you might think I'm ready for my 6th child. You might say, dang, sis, you about to have another one, right? Because if I was a little bigger all over, it might look balanced. But that ain't what it's gonna look like. And you're like, dang, what's going on, Iana? You pack it with number 6. No, I just got a fat stomach. Anyway, the point I'm making is that my stomach is off the chain. Okay, it is. Everything else look good. My stomach, 5 babies, it's off the chain. It's
It ain't
wrinkled.
off the chain.
It's
bro.
wrinkled and it's
I
fat.
love your belly, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Remember
will
the
kiss
other
it,
day?
I will lick it. I will
Remember the other
do
day?
all that.
Hold on. Remember the other day? We was spending a little quality time, and there was a mirror in the room. And I looked and I was like, "What the hell? let me put something in front of that." That's scaring me. So look, I'm saying that to say the sex is a sensitive thing. You understand? It's a sensitive thing, you know, in terms of how we see ourselves, in terms of our body image, in terms of how comfortable we feel, how freaky we think we can get or we cannot get, right? It's a sensitive thing. And the reality is that you have to prioritize that. Don't push that to the back. I've been there. I pushed it to the back. I got kids. I'm tired. I thank you for the love on Instagram, y'all.
They love that.
Y'all loving my little, you love my little
transparency.
wrinkled prune stomach. It is. You know what I'm saying?
I love it too, babe. But I don't see it that way.
Well, I don't know. That's lovely, but that's what it is. I have lots of, you know, I say stretch marks or see, well, I don't like when you do that because I think that you're lying.
No. So real
all
talk.
them stretch marks, all them wrinkles is not like
real talk. So can I have a moment of transparency?
If I lose the fat, I'm gonna have a lot of skin. I don't know.
Can I have a moment of transparency?
Okay, I love it. I like for you too. I think.
You think?
Go ahead.
So when I'm talking with, and I don't know how many fellas on this live stream right now, but when I'm talking to the fellas in my conversations, a lot of us are saying that, or at least I'm saying that. Actually, a lot of us are saying that I don't want no little girl. Like I don't want no 20-something. I want a woman who's lived some life, who's had some experiences, and so I know that based off of what your body looks like. Like I don't want no like.
Is that a compliment?
I mean, no. What I'm saying is that no. I mean, it is.
I want somebody. Hold on. You said I want somebody. I know you mean well. I want somebody who lives some life, who been through some things, and your stomach done been through some things. That's how you made it sound. No, but I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from.
I'm not saying it like that.
You know, like, yeah, my stomach has been through some things. You pop out 5 kids, it does.
But the fellas and hopefully some brothers can co-sign this. but really and truthfully, like I don't want no little girl. Like I got me a woman. I want me a grown ass woman.
You need some stretch marks
in
your life.
I do.
Yeah.
I like Kendrick Lamar. I need a woman with some stretch marks.
Yeah.
I need that.
Well, I got plenty of them for you.
Yeah, you do. And I lick all of them.
So our point, guys, tonight is that your sex life is important, right? You see and
Yvonne, and it was a new one that came out too. Yvonne Rose.
Hold on, what?
She said put the Capriccio.
Hold on, we got the Rose Capriccio tonight, Yvonne. The Rose. Did you know that? So they got that kind. So we want you to understand though that sex is important. Sex is essential. It is not an option. It's not just like, oh, important. Yeah, I'll get to that. It is really essential for your relationship when it goes unchecked. For those of you who potentially have not had sex for more than a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year. We've worked with plenty of couples like that, right? Hadn't had sex for a long time. You done got to the place where, having sex is like you just met this person for the first time all over again because you ain't been with them in so long.
Mhm.
Let me just tell you this. You're not alone.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are in that kind of situation,
Mhm.
but you have to focus on it and you have to elevate it because you all might partner in other ways so very well. You do good with the kids, y'all, make decisions about things in
Mhm.
wonderful ways. Y'all do all kind of great stuff. Your friends, all that, you're there for each other, but y'all ain't having no sex.
Mhm.
That's a problem. And that is a relationship issue that requires more than prayer.
Mhm. Mhm.
So tonight, guys, we hope that this has been of help to you. If you missed the very beginning of this live stream, I, Iyana, my husband, Ayize, we are therapists. We are coaches. We help people with their relationships. We'd love to hear from you. You can always hit us up at blackloveandmarriage.com. You can also go to reallovehelp.com, blackloveandmarriage.com, or reallovehelp.com. On blackloveandmarriage.com, we have a lot of articles and different things that you can look at to get information to help your relationship. And then also on the homepage, there's a little link there if you want some counseling, some coaching. You just want to talk about, is this something that I can get some help with? And we do not just couples coaching and counseling. We also do individual coaching and counseling as well. Because sometimes you just need to do some you work.
Absolutely.
I know I had to do my work. And I
Me
still
too.
be having to do my work all the
too.
way up to today.
I agree. You do.
And you do too. So reach out to us. We will drop those links that we just mentioned when we get off this live stream. Instagram, it was good. We was on with y'all for the first night tonight.
Yeah.
So what's going on? I'm so happy. We'll be back next Thursday. Every Thursday is a relationship Thursday. YouTube, we know we love y'all. Facebook
Any questions?
folks, we know we need to leave you. There you go.
I just want to know. Anybody got any
questions? I'm here for it.
Any questions?
But let me see. We only have a few minutes. So Tamika, I'm glad you came back.
So
Martina, I'm glad you said this was good, sis.
Coco Brown said, why can't y'all offer counseling sessions nationwide? We do. So we offer coaching sessions virtually nationwide. So you can go to reallovehelp.com. Again, reallovehelp.com to see our coaching and counseling packages. But
here's what I want folks to know is that the website, reallovehelp.com, kind of gives you an overview of our services. But we also welcome you to email us or call us, and we'll leave that information. We'll put that on this link as well, so that you can get more information. But you can email us at info at the letter B intentional.com. Again, the letter B intentional.com. Info at Be Intentional. You can also call us at 202-599-0234. That's our business line during business hours. Hit us up, and we'll talk to you, and we'll let you know whether or not we think counseling or coaching is good for you. All right, guys. Let me see. Okay, Malik, I like your comment. Thank you, my brother. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Until then, stop playing, y'all.
All right, y'all. Start pushing. You put the links. Look, put the links on there, please.